Okie dokie, boys and girls. Today is the moment of truth. We have a push day, and lately I've been doing a lot of weighted planche, right? I've been doing volume on the weighted planche hold, getting up to 40 seconds with some other dynamic hold sets, and that's good and all. But if you're training for something, you gotta do that specific something. And I'm not training for a weighted planche hold. I'm training for a normal planche hold for 20 seconds. So it's kind of this thing where you can deviate and go on these little training adventures, right? And they will help you towards your goal. But at some point, you gotta go back from the branch, go back from the side mission, and hop on the main path to see if you are proceeding. Because it's kind of like if you're in a forest, right, and you can't see like a good distance in front of you. It could be that you're going in circles and you don't know unless you are looking on Google Maps and seeing yourself going in circles, right? So I have kind of been going into the forest, right? I've been doing the weighted planche, and now, I've gotten stronger. I know that for sure. But did I get endurance? I have to know it as well. Like, I have to go back from the forest, which is the weighted planche, go onto the main road, which is the normal planche, and see if I actually got further down the road, closer to 20 seconds. So, today I'm still kind of like recovering from being sick a couple days ago. So I don't know how it's gonna go, but I wanna just feel the normal planche, the unweighted planche, and check how it feels basically, because I do not know how a normal planche feels anymore. I've been doing weighted the entire time, so I don't know how heavy it will feel. I don't know what to expect. And it's kind of scary or it should be scary if you're going back on your main road, testing, how strong you are now compared to a couple weeks or months ago, right? It's scary because you care about it, right? And you want to do well, but you don't know if you're going to do well. So you're doubting yourself. But the only way to remove that doubt is to basically go for it. And that's what I basically have to do today. So I'm going to remove the doubt, try planche without any weight on my feet, which it sounds like an easy task because, hey, it's easier than the weighted planche, right? Why are you scared? Why are you scared? And the reason that I'm scared is because this is my actual goal. This is specifically what I am training for. And if this fails, it's kind of like, oh shit, what have I been doing wrong? What have I been doing wrong? What should I change? You're kind of getting forced to think about what you've been doing. And of course, that's a necessary thing to do, but also, it's difficult nonetheless. So no way to get out of this situation. You just have to go out there, fuck around and find out basically. And we'll see what happens. I did my warm up. I'm gonna rest up a little bit more, chill out before, basically doing a planche hold. Let's see how it goes. I think that was 17 seconds, which is again 1 second more than last time. 1 second at a time, I guess. I'm gonna recheck this. Okay, so that was a PR, 17 and a half seconds even, I believe. So I'm very pleased. And what I kind of want to emphasize is that, well, lately I've been talking about do heavy training to feel light. And I kind of demonstrated here again because I did the planche and in the first few seconds I felt light as a feather. Like I'm tired because I've just been sick, but at the same time I'm just floating. It's kind of like the tuck advanced front lever pull-ups, right, that I did. It's such a low difficulty, right, that it just feels like you're moving through the air. And while it's not to that extent of the front lever pull-ups on this planche, still I feel that the weight is gone, right? I feel light. The only problem is that I don't have endurance. So in those first few seconds, I just felt insane, right? I was like, what the hell is this? And you can see it in the video. Like I'm super high. So basically, my statement holds, right? Train heavy to feel light. That's undeniably true. But what you also have to care about is, of course, if your goal is endurance. And what I've kind of been missing these past couple of weeks is, well, you have to train endurance. Yeah, you have to endure to train endurance. It's the same story for front lever. It's the same story for pistol squats. Every skill, right? If you want endurance on it, you have to do longer sets. And that's kind of what I've been missing. But yeah, I think I'm going to continue training weighted planche and just throwing in some endurance sets in between, because I'm very happy with how this feels, how the planche feels, how strong the planche feels. Like, I've never been this high in the planche, even when I was, 60 kilos with no legs. And now I have some legs. I might have been cheating a little bit today because, I lost more than a kilo of body weight on being sick. But still, it also drains my energy. So I think it's kind of like balancing things out. So even though I'm the heaviest ever in body weight, right? I am able to push harder than before, so I'm higher in the planche. My lean is less. Basically in the planche, and I'm just gonna keep yapping here, but in the planche, like, this is a quick tip. You wanna be kind of squeezing the bar hard. First of all, you wanna have your grip as strong as possible, but also like try to like go a little bit upwards. You wanna push upwards like this. You wanna minimize your lean, because of course you don't have to be afraid of leaning, but when you go into your lean, also try to like push it a bit forward so that you're higher in the planche. And holding yourself higher is gonna basically give you a greater advantage in holding the planche. It's gonna make it a bit easier. If you can do that, you're gonna feel lighter, right? You're gonna have more access to your power. So, if you're high in the planche, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. If you're low in the planche, right, you see heavy guys often leaning a lot, but that's also because they have a hold, like they have to hold a lot of weight. But if you have enough power, you can minimize your lean. Basically, if you can minimize your lean, that means that you're feeling strong in the planche. It's kind of like, it goes both ways, You want to be high in the planche to minimize the difficulty, but also you have to be strong to be able to do that in the first place. Kind of stuff like that. I don't know if that's clear, but anyway, yeah, very happy with this hold. I'm just gonna do a couple more testing sets to see how the planche is feeling. I hope I still have enough power left. But basically today is just gonna be a play day, and then next time I'm gonna start working on a new block of weighted planche again. And I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's definitely not gonna be holds, I'm gonna explain that later on because I've been yapping for a long time now, but yeah, let's do a couple more playing sets. Let's play around in the planche. Yes! 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 Okay, just a little bit of context. 10 push-ups to press. Not perfect. I'm not gonna say it was perfect. I know for a fact that it was ugly form. But this exact set, I did 1.5 years ago or something. When I was in Japan with my friends, Sho-san and Smith-san, and I was training with them, and I was doing this set, and it was the strongest I ever felt in planche. And now, at that time it was half reps, and now I think I did deeper reps. And not only that, I did it after being fucking sick. I did it after a max planche hold attempt. So I'm fucking stoked. This is the set that I've been chasing as a side mission to get again for so long. Sho-san, 見てますか？スミスさん、どうですか？めっちゃ嬉しい。So, holy fucking shit. I don't know what to say. I have nothing to say. I might play around for a couple more sets. I might just start doing some accessories for my forearms. But nonetheless, today is a success. We didn't get 20 seconds yet, but planche is feeling insanely light at one of my highest body weights ever. Okay, I'm not 73 kilos anymore. I'm 72.5. But still, I'm 5 kilos heavier than I was back then in Japan, right? I have bigger legs. I have all these built-in excuses, and I can put up my middle finger to each one of those excuses. And that just feels so great because oftentimes people just tell themselves like, oh yeah, I want to do XYZ, I want to do a marathon, but I can't because I don't have time, I'm tired, I, I can't train because, I don't have good genetics. So many people are like, have so many excuses, right? But they have the ability to do things and they choose to not do it because of those excuses. But if we can take those excuses, use them as fucking jet fuel, right? It feels so good, it becomes power. And then when you actually achieve your goal, you can be so much more happy than you would normally be if you didn't have any setbacks, if you didn't have any built-in excuses. You can say fuck you, like fuck off to those excuses and basically, laugh in the face of them. And that feels so good. I'm so fucking stoked. I'm gonna watch this setback. Alright, lastly, let's see if we can do a bit of a wide planche here. I don't know how wide this is exactly, but if I can hold it, I'm gonna be happy. Maybe if it's a bit too wide. If I had energy, I think I could do it, but this is insane. Alright, that's gonna be it for planche today. I'm gonna do one or two more sets with the forearm accessories, keep those bad boys strong as hell. And that will be the end of a good workout today. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, this form workout accessory here that I'm about to do is actually what's preventing me from getting injuries for months upon months now. I used to get injured way too much, like every time I started training planche again, basically I would get injured and stop again, and it was like this vicious cycle. But basically that was because my forearm was too weak. So you have this muscle in your forearm, which you use a lot in the planche because you have to push up like this, you hold yourself up like this, and if you push your arm up towards your other arm, you will see that this muscle starts to become tense, right? It starts to work, and you have to basically train this muscle to prevent injury. So I'm gonna take this hammer, and basically focus on pulling it up, like pulling my thumb towards me and grabbing the bar as strongly as possible to mimic kind of, not exactly a planche, but kind of use the same muscles and train the same muscles as you would in the planche. So I'm gonna aim for 20 reps. That's always the goal before I up the weight on the next session. All right. Whew. Let's go for another set. A lot of PRs today. Okie dokie. So, needless to say, I'm very happy with today's workout. Smashed some PRs. I think we got like the 10 push-ups to press is not really a PR. I guess it's more like back to top form kind of stuff. And at 5 kilos heavier body weight, but 2 PRs, one on the forearms, one on the hold, of course. That's the biggest PR because that's what we're training for. And getting back to what I was saying at the beginning, you're kind of in the forest doing the side missions to get stronger at your training. At some point, you gotta get back on the road, right? You gotta check where you are going, if you're going in the right direction. And that's what I did today. And today it happened to go well, I got a bit stronger. I am lighter than before, or I feel lighter than before. So heading in the right direction, basically. But that does not mean that every time you do these kind of things, it's gonna go the way you want. And it would be kind of boring as well, right? If it were to go the way you want it every time. And if it did, you wouldn't even have to check on the main road. You would know like, oh, I'll be heading in the right direction. If I choose to go back to my main mission, I'm gonna get a new PR all the time. If you knew that, there wouldn't be any reason to try in the first place. But sometimes you're gonna have setbacks. For example, for me, at one point my max hold in front lever was 34 seconds, and I tried to improve it, and I failed like 3, 4, 5 times before I went up from those 34 seconds. Like, I was really stuck in there. So every time I did that checkup of, am I heading in the right direction, I was basically getting a hard no back as a response, which hurts. But, when you do these kind of checkups to see if you're heading in the right direction, you're either going to get a thumbs up and you can keep going, or you're going to get a thumbs down and you have to like face reality and see what you're doing wrong. But in either case, you're benefiting, right? The one benefiting is yourself, because if you're heading in the right direction, great, just keep going. You're going to get to your goal. If you're not, well, and you never check it, right? If you're never checking if you're going in the right direction and you're not, then you're just going to go in circles and you're never going to reach your goal. So yes, it might hurt now, to see that you're not progressing the way you want, right? I think all of us have experienced something like that before. But, it's that hurt, it's that realization that's going to get you there in the end. So in a way, you should be thankful, even though it's hard to hear, right? Like, you should be thankful to yourself for not progressing. Like, what the fuck is going on? No. I mean, obviously, you have to do something about it, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And, when you have that harsh reality of, not progressing, well, you can sit there and cry about it, piss your pants, maybe. I don't know where the reference comes from, but anyway. Or you can, suck it up, find new training methodologies, right? Find new ways to train, try out new stuff, and basically progress. Because for me, today, yes, I did progress a little bit, but I also found out, like, holy shit, I am twice as light, or I feel twice as light in the first 5 seconds of that planche. But as time goes on, I just start to crush down. I start to crumble, right? I don't have the endurance. So yes, it's good that I trained my power. Power is the base, for endurance when it comes to one set endurance. But other than that, I also have to train the actual endurance. I will not get there with power alone. So from here on out, I will keep doing the weighted planche, but I will also add some endurance sets, have a bit of a combination. It's kind of the same story as you have to do static holds and dynamic stuff, both, because they both have benefits, right? In the same way, strength stuff and endurance stuff also both have benefits. And if you combine them, you will get all the benefits from both. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, basically, I'm looking forward to it, From here on out, maybe next time I try this stuff, I'm actually going to reach 20 seconds, which, at that point, we will have been bulking for 5-6 months. And I just know that the satisfaction, is going to be so great. The urge to get one of these strength goals is growing bigger and bigger, because, I'm itching closer every time. And yeah, it's just a matter of not waiting. It's not a waiting game, but it's a training game, I have to continue training, continue up keep up the consistency, basically, focus on the consistency PR. That's the most important PR of all. But if I do that, if you do that, we will reach our goals. So that's it for today. I'm gonna head out with some friends, actually, have some breakfast, try to get my weight back up, and see you tomorrow for a pull day.